So the DNC announced they're spending $20 million to reach young men. Young men was a demographic that went overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. I would strongly urge those guys to read the book.
It's $26.99, and then they'll
Exactly.
still have a lot of money
They
after
just divide 20 million by however many copies of your book that they need. What do you think that they can learn from your book?
So weirdly, I think the biggest thing they can learn is that if we look at young men and young working class men and young men without college degrees in particular as test subjects or as votes we want to get rather than as just people we want to hang out with, then we're exacerbating the problem, right?
I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
When we come to people and we say, we want to spend $20 million to research you and why you feel like we're looking down on you, people are like, yeah, this is it, right? Like, it's the feeling of us being researched. Now, in politics, you do need to do research. I'm not saying you don't, but I also think you need to be genuinely curious. You can't just figure out how to win people's votes back. You have to actually care about what they think. You don't have to agree with them, but you have to want to listen. And to bring it back to our former boss, President Obama, right? One thing that I was always struck by, he's a really good listener and he was genuinely curious about people. And that is such an important quality in politics, and you can't fake it, where it's like, if you want to spend time with somebody, if you really respect them as a person, if you really listen to them, and when you ask them, why do you think that, you don't immediately start to debate them, you actually want to know, then you get into a space where maybe you can change their mind. Maybe not, but you have an opportunity. So absolutely spend the $20 million, spend some of it on, a couple 100,000 copies of this fantastic book. But more than that, make sure you have people who genuinely care and are genuinely interested in the people you claim to be interested in and aren't just seeing them as test subjects. When I started surfing, which 3 years ago, or when I was working in the White House, I would have said, not that people like Matt don't matter, right? I cared a lot about improving life for every American. But I would have said that I don't have a lot to learn from someone like Matt.
Right.
And I don't even think I would have thought about that. I'm not sure I would have said it. It would have just been an assumption that I made. And I say that out loud, and I'm like, ooh, that is so embarrassing.
Yes.
And I've learned so much from Matt, even though there's all kinds of things where I don't agree with him and all kinds of things where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it my way. Thank you. Like, I got it on this thing. But I am a better person, smarter person, a braver person because of Matt. And the idea, like, I want to go back to my very slightly younger self and say the idea that you don't have something, you couldn't learn from someone like that, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?